very welcome to FF103 Part 4 of the Value of Strategic Foresight and Systems Thinking. This is a short Part 4, but it's about change and probably the most important things I learned about change as it related to strategic foresight and systems thinking. So, we are living in a lot of change right now, but what I learned from a futurist in one of my first conversations with Rick Smyer, I think I'd always thought about futurists as being about trends, and he got me talking about change, or asking me questions about change. And he said, Brenda, you do realize that there are two kinds of change. And I didn't, and so I acknowledged that, and he went on to explain to me that, yeah, there's two kinds of change. There's change that reforms and change that transforms. And it's so important to know that difference. So change that reforms is really change that modifies or improves or makes ideas and methods more efficient and more effective. And a lot of times they are things, ideas and methods and programs and services that have typically existed for many years. And it's just a case of making things more efficient and effective. The other kind of change that he talked about is change that transforms. And as future-focused leaders, it's transformative change that we want to see more of. And that's the kind of change that redefines and turns things upside down. It's profound and fundamental change. And it's enduring and it's radical, and it almost always reflects a systemic, holistic approach. And the results are typically the results of collaboration. So keep that in mind in your work as a future-focused leader. Systems change is really about shifting the conditions that are holding the problem in place. And it's interesting because that definition of social change came from the social innovation generation in Toronto, and yet it's being cited as a definition of systems change around the world. But it started here in Canada, and it's really, really the thing is, if we're going to change our systems, we need transformative change, not just change that reforms. And typically, in our organizations and businesses and communities, the most typical change that is happening is change that reforms. And people are quite often content with that. I'm not sure that they should be, because right now we need transformative change because we can and we should be doing better. And so what that means is that we need change in our policies and our practice and our resource flows and our relationships and connections, in our power dynamics and in our mental models. And there's a great document that I've shared in your course materials called The Water of Systems Change by John Kenya. And these are the same authors who really got a lot of organizations on the path towards collective impact. So it's definitely worth a read. But it's really about the water holding our system in place, and that will make more sense after you read that document. So systems change, that's important.